Will never go away. It'll always be with me. And I think I saw somewhere the sadness is a reminder of how much. Just feel like, I did something right in life with him.
He was supposed to live a long life. He was supposed to watch his daughter grow up, see her graduate, walk her down the aisle on her wedding day, and hold her hand with pride. He was supposed to share that same warm smile we all knew from our television screens for decades to come. But instead, Malcolm Jamal Warner came home in a coffin, and the truth about what really happened to him has been hidden, covered by lies, sealed away with money, and silenced before it could see daylight. The last time the public saw Malcolm, he was full of life. He had a flower tucked behind his ear, a gift from his little girl for her birthday. He was laughing, that familiar, easy laugh that made you feel like you knew him personally. "There's always a reason to smile," he said. Hours later, that smile would be gone forever. The official story was simple: a drowning. They claimed his daughter wasn't even in the water. But those who were there, people who saw it with their own eyes, tell a very different version. They say he died fighting the ocean to save his child. They say it was his last, desperate act of love, a father's final battle. And they say that the tale was erased. Why? Why was that part left out of the record? Why, less than 24 hours after his death, did his wife allegedly transfer more than $12 million in assets into her own name? Why was his daughter denied a chance to say goodbye? And why was there no autopsy, just a fast move toward cremation before anyone could ask the right questions? And then, in the middle of the silence, Regina King, his former love, stepped forward. She didn't accuse anyone outright. She didn't shout or make demands. But the grief in her eyes hinted at something unspoken, something heavy, because Malcolm wasn't just an actor. He was a man who had been working on something called Theopiles. And in an email, he had written words that now feel chilling. "If anything happens to me, no, it wasn't an accident. That changes everything." It was July 20th, 2025. Cockles Beach, Costa Rica. The day was postcard perfect. The sky was clear. The water glittered gold in the afternoon sun. And on the shore stood a man we thought we'd have forever: Malcolm Jamal Warner. Actor, father, friend, fighter. He was the smile that lit up living rooms across America during The Cosby Show. That morning, he had recorded a short video for fans. In it, the flower from his daughter rested above his ear. His laugh was warm. "There's always a reason to smile," he said. Hours later, his body was pulled from the waves. The official version was cold and direct. He drowned. His daughter wasn't in the water. That was all. End of story. But the witnesses, they tell a story that makes your heart stop. One surfer swore he saw a little girl struggling in a rip current, her small arms flailing as the sea tried to pull her under. Malcolm, without hesitation, dove in after her. The water was violent that day, the current unrelenting, but he fought it with everything he had. Another man says he saw the Red Cross treating the girl afterward, and that Malcolm's body, when pulled from the ocean, was pale and his breathing shallow. He says CPR was attempted, but it was too late. None of those details made it into the police report. None of them were shared with the public. Instead, the authorities released a neat, polished narrative. There was no danger to the child. No, hero, just a tragic accident. Why erase the truth of a man dying to save his daughter? Because a hero complicates things. A hero's death demands investigation. It raises questions. And questions can be dangerous for people who want a clean, quiet ending. The first warning sign came less than a day after Malcolm's death, while the world was still reeling, while fans were posting old clips in tribute, and while his daughter was crying herself to sleep. His wife allegedly contacted her lawyer not to plan a funeral, but to change the legal ownership of his $12 million estate. By the next day, those assets were in her name. Allegedly, she also blocked his daughter from saying a final goodbye. Allegedly, She pushed for cremation immediately, no autopsy, no toxicology test, no examination for injuries that might contradict the official story. Why rush so quickly? Because ashes can't tell a story. Then Regina King, the woman who had once been the love of his life, stepped forward. Their relationship had once been a thing fans celebrated, to icons of Black Hollywood coming together. It had felt like destiny, until one Valentine's Day when destiny took a cruel turn. Without warning, Malcolm ended things. Regina said she never saw it coming. One day, they were building a life together. The next, she was asked to leave the home she shared with him and her son. A year later, Regina suffered a loss no parent should face. Her only son died by suicide. She once described grief as love with no place to go. So, when Malcolm died, people wondered if she'd speak. She did, but not in the way anyone expected. She posted a photo of him on his motorcycle with the caption, "Some people leave a lasting imprint, not just for who they were, but for the energy they carried." Ride in power. It wasn't bitter. It wasn't pointed, but something in those words felt weighted, as if she knew more than she was saying. Here's where the story gets darker. In the months before his death, Malcolm had been working on a project he called Theopiles. Few knew what it was until a leaked email allegedly sent to a journalist shed light. The email described an encrypted folder, locked behind multiple layers of protection. Inside, Malcolm claimed, were documents that could expose some of the most powerful names in entertainment. The email ended with a line that still echoes, "If anything happens to me, no, it wasn't an accident." Suddenly, this wasn't just a drowning. The contradictions weren't random. His wife's alleged rush to secure millions didn't look like grief, it looked like motive. The police chief overseeing the case wasn't even at the beach when the first official statement went out. Witnesses were told not to talk to reporters. Lifeguards weren't on duty, despite the beach's reputation for dangerous currents. Rescue resources were allegedly diverted elsewhere. Fans started piecing things together online. Reddit threads blew up, hashtags trended, and everywhere, one word kept appearing: Theopiles. Some say it was about celebrity scandals. Others claim it involved politicians. A few whisper that it reached into the highest levels of wealth and power. Whatever it was, Malcolm wanted it public. Now he's gone. The circumstances feel eerily similar to other accidental deaths. A public figure with a clean image, a sudden tragedy, a rushed funeral, contradictory witness statements. And always some kind of file or folder that never sees the light of day. Regina may never openly say what she believes happened. Maybe she's protecting herself, maybe she's waiting, or maybe the truth is simply too dangerous to speak. In the end, the people who want this story buried are counting on time. They're counting on the public to move on. But the waves didn't wash away everything. They didn't take the questions. They didn't take the suspicion. And they certainly didn't take the fight for answers. Malcolm's death might have been written off in an official report, but for those who saw the cracks, it's far from over, because somewhere out there, the files he guarded may still exist. Somewhere, the truth he died with is waiting. And if there's one thing history has shown, it's that secrets this big never stay buried forever. Not by a long shot. The folder known as Theopiles wasn't just some random collection of files. According to a leaked email, it held explosive information about some of the most powerful people in entertainment and politics. And here's where it gets even more unsettling. The name itself wasn't accidental. Insiders believe Theopiles was a clever play on Theo Malcolm's famous character and the files he was known for uncovering. It was a hidden nod only his biggest fans might understand, a way to hide an investigation in plain sight. But what exactly was inside those files? That's the question that's been fueling online debates for weeks. Some claim they exposed financial crimes involving Hollywood studios. Others believe they linked celebrities to offshore accounts used for darker, more disturbing purposes. The boldest theory suggests they contained personal messages tying well-known figures to a decades-old cover dash-up. Friends say Malcolm had grown distant in the months before his death. He spoke less in interviews, posted cryptic messages online, and when certain topics came up, he would smile but refuse to answer. One friend recalls him saying, "There are some things you can't unlearn. Once you know them, you either carry them or share them. But sharing," he hinted, "comes with a heavy price. That price may have been his life." Just days before his trip to Costa Rica, he told someone close to him that he was ready to release something big, and that once it was out, no one could stop it. But he never got the chance. Then the story turned from suspicious to downright chilling. In the week after Malcolm's death, several people connected to him were visited by officials, not police, not FBI, just nameless individuals asking about his laptop, phone, and personal hard drives. His wife later claimed the laptop was missing, the phone had been wiped, and the hard drives were gone. Convenient, right? But anyone who's ever tried to completely erase digital evidence knows something always remains. And according to an anonymous source, Malcolm might have left a backup somewhere unexpected, a secret location no one has searched yet. If that's true, and those files surface, this won't be remembered as just a tragic accident. It will be seen as a calculated effort to silence a man who got too close to dangerous truths. That's why the fight for #justice for Malcolm is more than emotional. It's necessary. If they could erase him, they could erase anyone. We've seen this pattern before. A beloved public figure dies suddenly, their finances are locked down quickly, and whispers spread that they were on the verge of revealing something explosive. The internet hasn't let go of this case. On Twitter, old interviews of Malcolm discussing corruption and untold stories are resurfacing. On Reddit, people are piecing together timelines, comparing official reports with eyewitness accounts. On TikTok, his last birthday video with his daughter is going viral, not just because it's touching, but because everyone knows what came next. Even actress Regina King, who spoke once in tribute to Malcolm, has remained silent since. Maybe she's protecting herself, maybe she's waiting for the right time, or maybe she's holding a piece of the puzzle we haven't seen yet. The silence around this case doesn't feel like peace. It feels like fear. Fear of what those files contain. Fear of the consequences if they come to light. Fear of the chain reaction that could follow. But secrets don't stay buried forever. Like the tide, the truth has a way of coming back. 3 weeks after his death, the whispers got louder. The #justice for Malcolm had millions of views. People weren't just grieving anymore. They were digging. Leaked screenshots from private chats hinted at footage taken that day. Shaky cell phone video of Malcolm in the water, his daughter clinging to him before a wave pulled them under. That video hasn't been seen since. Witnesses say their phones were taken by investigators on the beach and never returned. Some were told not to share anything for the sake of family privacy. But whose privacy were they really protecting? Details in the timeline don't add up. Malcolm was alive when pulled from the water. There was a delay in medical help. His wife had lawyers working at an unusual speed. And everyone knows Theophiles existed. Then came the twist no one expected. An anonymous email arrived in a journalist's inbox. No name, no message, just a link. Inside was a single PDF titled Theophiles, Part 1. It wasn't the full set of files, but it was enough to send chills down your spine. The first page listed dates, names, and meeting locations. The second page showed screenshots of emails between high-level entertainment executives discussing damage control tied to an unnamed actor. One of the names in those emails belonged to someone who was on the same beach the day Malcolm died. Coincidence? Probably not. By the time the document began circulating in underground forums, the account that sent it was gone. But the internet doesn't forget, and now the theory has shifted. This wasn't only about silencing Malcolm. It was a warning to others. Then came the most heartbreaking moment yet. Malcolm's 8-year-old daughter appeared in a short, silent video posted by a family friend. She sat holding the same flower she had given him in his final video. She didn't speak. She didn't have to. Her eyes told a story that words never could. A man claiming to have once worked as Malcolm's security also spoke up. He said Malcolm had been worried in his final months and had hired extra protection, not from overzealous fans, but from dangerous people who didn't want to be exposed. Malcolm allegedly told him, "If something happens to me on a trip, it won't be an accident." Now, the missing piece is the rest of the files. If the partial leak is genuine, and if the full set exists, it could expose not just what happened to Malcolm, but decades of buried crimes. That may be why certain people want this story to fade. Because they know outrage cools with time. If they can make the world move on, they win. But we're not moving on. Every post, every share, every comment keeps his story alive. That's the real threat to them, not the files, but the people who refuse to forget. Think of his daughter, the flower in his hair, and the files he may have died protecting. Remember his warning. If anything happens to me, it wasn't an accident. We can't bring him back, but we can make sure his name isn't erased. We can keep the truth alive until the day the full Theopiles surfaces and the world finally knows what really happened on that beach in Costa Rica, because justice has a way of catching up, sometimes slowly, but always surely.